Neoliberalism kills. It destroys life. It makes us senseless consumers, tired workers, angry humans, and mad drivers. It wants more roads, more cars, more buildings, more shopping malls, senseless privatization, endless hours of work for the poor, and endless wealth accumulation for the murderous capitalist elites. In contrast, eco-feminist socialism sustains life. It helps us review our modes of life for more happiness and well-being. Feminist eco-socialism should be at the core of our societal program, not an economic system that turns us into raging machines. Indigenous women farmers who fight capitalism teach us to value life and nature, not cars. They call upon us to take a walk, gaze at the stars, breathe clean air, and rest. We are not money-making machines. We do not kill. We are made to care for each other, sit under trees, breathe in the sea, and tell the story of the eco-feminist. Pepita from Plaine des Papayes to our children. Pepita did not become an astronaut in a man's world. She chose nature, not roads. She chose life, not cars. The moon embraced her. The penalty point system is a major step ahead. Thank you. But we need system change. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I commend the bill to the House.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Honourable Rukni.
Madam Speaker, as Mauritians leave their homes, they invariably get on our roads to go and grab opportunities to go to work or to go for leisure. At the same time, they are exposed to threats that invariably comes with road traffic. Our job is to stimulate our people to go and grab opportunities, to go for jobs, and also to do everything that we can to mitigate the risks and threats that can be faced by our dear people. Madam Speaker, today as we consider the Road Traffic Amendment Bill, I would like to remind the House that behind every statistic lies a life, a family, and often a tragedy that scars a whole community. Road fatalities are not numbers, they are stories, broken futures, and empty chairs at the dinner table. Madam Speaker, let it be said clearly, it was a Labour-led government in 2012 that had the courage to introduce the penalty point systems. It wasn't a perfect system. It was a lesser system than the Minister is introducing, but yet it was a modern, responsible, internationally recognized reform. Then came the 2014 change of government. The MSM administration scrapped the system, not because it was ineffective, but because it was politically convenient, and Mauritius paid the price. I will not revisit the technical details of the bill. The Honourable Minister has presented them comprehensively and with clarity. My purpose today is to speak about responsibility. Political responsibility, moral responsibility, and national responsibility. There comes a time when politics and campaigning must be left at the door. Today is one of those days. When we were returned to office a year ago, this country was on its knees, economically weakened, socially fractured, and morally adrift. Every bill brought to this House by this government has been rebuilding the foundations of our republic brick by brick. We still face challenges, yeah. But the difference, Madam Speaker, is that we are not governing out of fear or calculation. We are governing out of duty. The price of not taking the right decisions is simply too high. When leaders fail to act because they are unsure of what to do, or because they fear unpopularity, the cost is paid by the people. Let the House be reminded of something that touched the nation deeply. In 2023, a pilgrim was electrocuted and his cover caught fire on its way to Gangatala. One poor soul lost his life. And everyone knew that decisive, clear safety measures were needed. What did the previous government do? They implemented what I call cosmetic guidelines, a complete abdication of responsibility. And the following year, 8 young men, 8 children of Mauritius, all from my constituency, lost their lives in a similar tragedy. This, Madam Speaker, is what happens when leadership fails. In contrast, as soon as we came to office, the Prime Minister ensured that regulations were clear and enforcement effective. After 2 painful years, our country was finally able to celebrate Mahashivratri safely again. This is the difference between governance and political avoidance. We do not abdicate our responsibilities. And this is not new. In 2012, when the Honorable Minister Anil Bechu introduced the penalty point system with proper enforcement, the fatality rate dropped by 13% in just 1 year. These are facts. And then the Jugnauth government dismantled the system and fatalities rose again. This is also facts. Even the then leader of opposition, today our Deputy Prime Minister, warned them about the lack of data and transparency sustaining their 2015 amendment and urged them to adjust the system where and when needed. But clearly, their priorities were elsewhere. Madam Speaker, a law without enforcement is a dead letter. And over the last 10 years, enforcement broke down, institutions weakened. A culture of recklessness took root. And worst of all, the sense of respect for law and for the police eroded. In many places, road offenders behaved as though the law did not apply to them. Illegal rallies, organized and dangerous, became commonplace. Lives were lost because the state closed its eyes. In my own constituency, in Bichtombo notablement, people tell me the same stories every week. Motorcycles, not with silencers, but with noise amplifiers. Riders without helmets. Passengers standing upright. And too often, a funeral a few days later. I have attended funerals of teenagers, promising children, whose lives were shattered in a moment. It is not rare to drive through my constituency and see a white circle on the asphalt, indicating where a body fell, or where a small bouquet on the side of the road left by a grieving family, where somebody lost his life. Madam Speaker, this is not something any country should accept. It is too high a price to pay for an empty chair at home. It must stop. I would like to thank my friend, the Honorable Minister Osman Mohammed, for bringing this bill to the House. Combined with measures introduced and to be introduced in the future, it will help reduce fatalities. We must also recognize that we face new dangers, such as people driving under the influence of synthetic drugs. In 2012, this problem did not exist at the scale we see today. Legislation exists, yes, but it is only if its application is firm, fair, and consistent that it will protect our citizens. The penalty point system becomes an essential deterrent in this new context. I can now only hope that we will very soon bring legislation that will enable authorities to impound the vehicles of those who are caught driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Madam Speaker, the goal is not to punish, but to protect. Not to restrict freedom, but to preserve life. No road safety strategy is complete without enforcement, education, prevention, and continuous adaptation. And I have full confidence that this government will keep improving on our road safety practices dynamically, intelligently, and in line with the global best standards adapted to our little island. Before I conclude, Madam Speaker, allow me something personal. These tragedies are not abstract to me. They have touched my own village more than once. I wish to dedicate my intervention today to the memory of my father's very dear friend, Guruji Uchit, who lived in our village at Tempajouance. His life was violently taken away by a reckless motorcyclist. A man respected, a man loved, a man who contributed quietly to many lives, gone in a fraction of a second. It is to prevent tragedies like this from striking our families, our neighbors, our communities, that I rise in full support of this bill. If this legislation saves even one life, prevents even one mother from burying her child, or spares even one family from the pain of an empty chair, then we would have done something meaningful today. Madam Speaker, I support this bill.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I propose we go for tea and we come back in half an hour.